Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're going to discuss quadratic applications with factoring and square roots. We're going to take a look at three examples actually, where you're going to be able to factor them down and find the answer based on real-world solutions. So example number one, a small toy rocket is launched from a 4-foot pedestal. The height h in feet of the rocket t seconds after taking off is given by the formula h is equal to negative 2t squared plus 7t plus 4. How long will it take the rocket to hit the ground? Okay, so in order to make this a little bit more understandable, let's draw a picture. So here's we'll call this my pedestal, and it's launched from 4 feet. The height of a rocket in seconds after taking off is given by the formula. And how long will it take the rocket to crash down and hit the ground? One of the things that we want to realize is hitting the ground really represents a number, comma 0 on our y-axis. So in this case, our h can be 0 plugged into our formula. So let's go ahead and do that. 0 is equal to negative 2t squared plus 7t plus 4. I don't know about you, but I don't like it whenever I have a negative out front, so I'm actually going to take that out. So 0 is equal to negative 1 times 2t squared minus 7t minus 4. So what we're looking for now is a way to figure out what the factors are, mainly something that would multiply to give us, remember, 2 times negative 4, so negative 8. That would add to give us negative 7. Those of you that were able to figure it out, we end up with 2t plus 1 and t minus 4. If you want to kind of know the steps around this, remember we take 2t squared. There's 2 blanks here, minus 4. This is one way to do it. So what are some numbers that could multiply to give us negative 8 and add to give us negative 7? So in this case, we could have negative 1 and a, wow, why am I blanking here? Negative 1 and 8. Let's switch that. Negative 8, positive 1. So 2t squared plus 1t minus 8t minus 4 group. And we get t out front, 2t plus 1. And if we take out a minus 4 here, we end up with 2t plus 1, which then gives us our factors. From here, we want to set these each equal to 0. Negative 1 equal to 0 isn't possible. We talked about that in other lessons. 2t plus 1 set equal to 0. Give us 2t is equal to negative 1, or t is equal to negative 1 half, which also doesn't exist because of the terms that we're dealing with. Distance, and distance can never be negative. And then t minus 4 is equal to 0. So t would be equal to 4. So how long will it take to reach the ground? The answer, 4 seconds. And I'll go ahead and write that over here. If you need to at all, go back through this one. You know, I kind of talked and gave you some time to go through it, but you can always go back and rewind and rewatch the video. Example number 2 is something that you'll find probably on the SAT more than anything. The product of 2 consecutive even integers is 728. Find the integers. So think of it as the first even integer will be x. The second even integer would be x plus 2. Reason that's x plus 2 is because we're adding 2 to it. All right, so let's go ahead and set this up. We've got x times x plus 2. And I'm using multiplication here because the problem says product. And that's going to be equal to 728. So x squared plus 2x is equal to 728. Now, of course, I want to factor, and in order to factor, I need to get the 728 over to the other side. X squared plus 2x minus 728 equals 0. You might need your calculator a little bit for this one. Two things that are going to multiply to give us negative 726. There's 728, but then add to give us a positive 2. If you figure these out, though, you should end up with x minus 26 and x plus 28. So you end up with, once you solve it, x is equal to 26, x is equal to negative 28. Now, two consecutive even integers, we're usually looking with positives. So you'd have 26 would be your first one, and then 26 plus 2 ends up actually giving you the other one, which is 28. And there's your two answers. Last but not least, we're going to look a little bit about area. Okay, so the length of a rectangle is 3 feet longer than 6 times its width. If the area of the rectangle is 165 square feet, what is the width of the rectangle? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to first draw this out. I'm going to put 165 in there because that's my area. It says that the length is 3 feet longer than 6 times the width. So 6 times width plus an extra 3 feet. So I know the difference between them. I'm actually going to make that a W. It could be an X. That's fine. And then my width is just going to be W because I don't know exactly what that is yet. All right, well, let's go ahead because we're looking at area in square feet. Area is equal to length times width. So in this case, 165 is equal to 6W plus 3 times W. So 165 is equal to 6W squared plus 3W. Let's move that over to the other side here. So I get 0 is equal to 6W squared plus 3W minus 165. 6 and 3 are divisible by 6. So let's figure out if 165 is as well. Turns out that it does look good. So 3 times 2W squared plus W minus 55. And then from here, we've got to find out what's going to multiply really to give us negative 110 and add to give us a positive W. We look at some of those factors there, we're probably going to end up with an 11 and a 5 just because of how the 55 runs. So I'm first going to start off 2W, W. If I take and say make this a plus 11 here and a minus 5 here using a different form called guess and check, that'll give me 10. 2 and 5 will at least give me 10. And then 11. And then if I make the negative 5, then that gives me a negative 10 with a positive 11, which gives me a negative 1 in the middle. All right. So 0 cannot equal 3, but 2W plus 11. So negative 11 is equal to 2W. So W is equal to negative 11 halves. It's a negative answer, so it can't work. So 0 is equal to W minus 5. W is equal to 5. That's positive, so it can, because we're working with distance. So in this case, W is equal to 5, and then my length is 6 times W plus 3, which gives me 33. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out via email. Please also make sure to do the appropriate assignment tonight associated with this note. All right, everyone, take care.